So hi everyone, welcome to my, late edition I suppose, May Care News update of my online newspaper, I suppose, in some sense, that I release once a month. It's been going for close to probably a year now, and as you can see, the layout of this thing is that I usually start with care videos that I want carers to be interested in. When I'm talking about carers, I'm talking about friends, families, or those like neighbours who are caring for someone who is suffering physical and mental health needs. So I'm not really focusing on care workers who have clients. So yeah, this is something that I add on my site, a Care Mind site. The structure is, as mentioned, care videos. I'm going to go into those in a bit. Not all of them, there's no way I can do it in that time, because there's at least 11 here. I often release podcasts, poetry that I'm doing. I also work on my third book, which is a book of poems. Hopefully it'll come out this year. And then this is the main thing, the updates across the country that is of particular importance to carers and those that work with them, to be honest, just to be kept up to date of important matters, which again I'll just pick out a few from this list here. I think it usually goes up to 30 or 40, maybe 50. Then we have national organisation updates. Again, I'll go into that in a bit. So stuff from Carers UK, Carers Trust NHS England, CQC, Health Watch. Then resources. This doesn't really change from each month. I might add more. Well, I probably will add more resources each month, but nothing usually changes. Just resources on what could help carers out there regarding their finances, advocacy, their advice, well-being advice. Obviously, I'm going to cover diversity, ethnic diversity, because of my mental health care background. I thought I'd add this to the online newsletter. My carers network, to be honest, the majority of them are those who are caring for someone with a mental health need or suffering mental illness. So it only makes sense that I provide ethnic diversity in mental health and mental health news in general. But let's start. I don't want to make this too long, an update. I'm going to go to this first video. I'll go in a sec, but this one I feel, from my own borough, which is good news, the Lewisham Council is launching a consultation regarding what carers would feel important. So if I go to YouTube, and as you can see, I'm going to try and just do like at least a couple of seconds of the video, maybe 10 or 15. I think for far too long, unpaid carers have not had a roadmap forward, and that consultation plan gives a way forward on what can be beneficial for carers in the future in the London Borough of Lewisham.
The plan is really important so that carers are actually seen and heard and have some care given to them.
So basically, this is exciting news. I often say to carers, wherever they are, what is your local authority or your borough doing regarding carers in the future or now? Some boroughs already have a carer strategy or working on that, and it's exciting to see, as you can see here, at least from May 2022, the Lewisham Council is working really hard to do this. Obviously, being that I'm situated in that borough, I think also it's even better news for me to help raise the profile of unpaid carers. Going to another video, we've also got other information on carer strategy, one from Nottinghamshire. And as you can see, maybe I can expand this a bit. The problem is it's an hour long, so I don't think I can really play it, but basically it's a webinar. I'll put the link in my chat, sorry, not in the chat, in the news group, and as you can see, it just gives an overview of their carer strategy. So what I find interesting is actually a joint strategy. More importantly, it's co-produced with carers, and it's including young carers and parent carers. So it's just by chance I've actually clicked on this part of the video, which is shown via a presentation, and it's a 5-year strategy. So again, if you want to watch the an hour and 2 minutes on what other areas are doing regarding their care strategy, certainly check out my online newsletter, particularly for May. And the next bit, if I go down further, let's get away from that, we'll go down to the main section, and something I suppose I want to pick out really would be the the Health and Care Act. This has always been a tricky one for carers reading into that. It's massive, it's a lot's involved, and I think the King's Fund, that's it, if I hover over it, you can see the link at the bottom of the screen, King's Fund, have tried to break this down into 6 key questions regarding the Health and Care Act. And I'll just pick out 2. Obviously, what are the main changes of the Care Act? And they've put the short answer is the main purpose of the Health and Care Act is to establish a legislative framework that supports collaboration, partnership working to integrate services for patients, among a wide range of other measures. They also give you a long answer as well, which I think is, and it's not that long, to be honest, to be fair. Certainly read through that. The other questions that they're looking into is this an unnecessary top-down reorganisation? Because there's always criticism when it comes to new policy strategies that it's just the government just making things overly complicated with a system that's struggling as it is already. But the short answer to this question is the Act introduces significant changes to how the NHS in England is organised to promote integrated care, building on existing work to join up services and remove barriers that were getting in the way of this. So again, this is quite good information. This is why I put this in my care online news. Certainly have a look. I will show you to my site in a bit because it's always going to stay online permanently. Next bit is preparing, I believe, for Carers Week. Obviously it's gone now because I've just done this video after, but we can see Carers Week is coming up, and you've got this virtual Carers Week conference from Carers Matter Norfolk, and obviously they're going to probably be doing this in conjunction with their local authority. So they're talking about, this is interesting, Carers Passport. So it helps to identify carers and what they can get access to. It just shows the agenda basically of joining the virtual Carers Week conference, which took place on the 13th of May. So very good to see this. As you can see, Carers Matter Norfolk is a partner of Carers Trust. I do hope that this was actually recorded online. So I suppose when I release my June update of my Carers online news information, we might actually have this being shown. Other areas like Dudley Metropolitan Borough Council was also preparing for Carers Week 2022. And again, I don't know if it shows the agenda, but what I find interesting is that Councillor Natalie Neal, the Cabinet Member of Adult Social Care, stated that our carers provide dedicated, unwavering and often unrecognised support to their loved ones. So this year's theme, which is 2022, is making them invisible, valued and supported, which aims to address this imbalance. Obviously, as you can tell, mentioning from what's written here, it's not always the case that carers are visible, that they are valued and are supported. So the aim of Carers Week 2022 is to make them more visible, valued and supported. No agenda here, and I do hope that it was a good turnout regarding the events held over in Dudley Metropolitan Borough. The next thing we want to look at is a bit of depressing news, which is taken from here. I've gone up to 14 pieces of information. But the depressing news is regarding the Chancellor's support plan for the cost of living crisis. Now, basically, the Chancellor has announced in Parliament the support package to help people with the cost of living crisis, which has become a big issue because it's going to affect vulnerable people. That being obviously carers. Unfortunately, in response to this, the information here says that they are extremely disappointed to learn that unpaid carers have been shut out of the additional support, and they're saying yet again. So this is not the first time this has happened. Again, the link is in my online news information. There has been response to the support package. Carers Trust is one of them that's responded to it, stating again that they feel that the UK government needs to urgently show or follow the example of the governments in Wales and Scotland, who have provided some means of support financially to unpaid carers who receive carers allowance. And again, they call on the UK government to identify unpaid carers as a priority group. Not just Carers Trust responding, I'm sure Carers UK also responded as well. Again, due to time, I'm not going to go to every link. It might, if I'm quick, it might be there. I think it is. So let me just see, just to benefit the doubt. As you can see, Carers UK also responded, stating that, what did they state? They said carers continue to provide unpaid care worth 530 million per day, with a combined total since March 2020 of over 400 billion. And the state for months, Carers UK and others have been drawing the government's attention to the extreme challenges carers face with their finances. Obviously, finances with the cost of living crisis is hitting carers especially hard. Next thing really is the Carers Conference. Again, this is the main part of this newsletter. Well, not newsletter, but online news. And I'm looking at number 33, where we're looking at the Kent Community Health NHS Trust. And I guess you're thinking, why is Matthew mentioning this? Because I was actually involved in helping to co-produce this event with Kent and Medway. It's actually a joint NHS Trust event, so Mental Health Trust and a Community Acute Trust. During Carers Week, 9th of June, setting out their first ever Carers Conference, and I must say that it was a joy to be involved in helping to set this event up with other carers as well, staff and patients. I also blogged this actually. I don't know if I can. I should have really brought up my blog. I might be able to if I go to my Caring Minded. So I can find it. So you can see that I also blog my forums as well. So here it is here. So not too long ago, I did blog this off my main site about what took place. As you can see, Carers Stories, very important here, Carers Stories, doing any Carers Conference. The Carers Conference was, in a sense, a listening conference, listening to the audience, giving feedback, asking queries and questions. Carers Experience video, a workshop on carers assessments, dementia care talk from specialist nurse, a video from MP Helen Watley, who used to be the Mental Care, Recovery College presentation, and much more. So, yep, it was a very great Carers Conference. I hope more to come in the future, and they learn a lot from their first ever joint Carers Conference. So, next thing now is I'm just going to choose one from the National Organisation update. I think I'll choose something from the CQC actually, Shaping Our Future. They're a very important organisation when it comes to health and social care. And as you can see, basically what they're trying to do here is give updates on how they work with their stakeholders. As I've mentioned before, health and social care is changing. CQC have launched a new strategy regarding this, and they're updating on feedback given to the external strategic advisory group. As you can see here, what they've been feeding back to the CQC, this group. Obviously what next is they're going to continue to engage widely and develop and co-produce the CQC's future regarding health and social care. They have given a link here for if anyone's interested to join that group. So what are the updates? I suppose I could choose NHS. Well, actually, let's go down here. The diversity, Black, Asian, minority, ethnic mental health news updates, and I think I'd go for the NHS England. What they're doing, which has been for a year and a bit, in regards to advancing mental health equalities for ethnic minorities who are using mental health services. Obviously, Black and Asian, particularly Black, I suppose, they fear a lot worse when it comes to mental health. So they want to reduce these inequalities by basically doing this strategy called the Patient Carer Race Equality Framework. This blog here, as you can see, is written by Jackie Dyer, Dr. Jackie Dyer, a few others here, Zoe Reid from South London and Morsley. I'm not going to spend too long on this, but the link again is in my online newsletter. I advise carers, particularly ethnic carers, to have a read, see what NHS England are doing, what the mental health trusts are doing, because this will be extended to all mental health trusts at the end of this year or next year, as far as I know, depending on how far the Patient Care Race Equality Framework has been integrated into mental health services. A few last updates. So we're going to go down to our mental health news. Again, I usually hit up to 30 or 40. Some bit of disappointing news when I'm talking about mental health services. We can close this. Norfolk and Suffolk Foundation Trust has been on the bad side regarding the CQC report, as they've inspected it. Again, I won't go into it too much. Read that off my online newsletter. There'll probably be updates regarding this. I've been put in special measures. I'm not going to go into heavily on here why, but they've been underperforming, and this is not the first time, to be honest, which is really sad for those who use the services. So I suppose the good thing with my news, I'm not going to just report on as everything's okay and patients and carers are seeking the best in what's been offered to them and everything's performing well. I'm going to report on information that professionals might see and think these things need to improve, and I do hope in the future things will improve at this trust. Last few things, I think it's the last one, I'll close this off. Schools are important in mental health. That's where it all starts. So this is a call for schools to actually tackle the funding regarding child mental health crisis before when people leave school. The need for mental health support grows to the point where it's an epidemic in a sense. So basically the waiting list to see a mental health nurse at school is months long. This is coming from the British Association for Counselling and Psychotherapy. A good read, certainly read it. It is sad reading, but again, this is what is to be expected of those who are associated with school regarding counselling and psychotherapy, asking for the call for child mental health crisis. So this is Matthew McKenzie. If you want to have a look at my past updates, just click on news off my site. So it's a careandmindblog.com. Yeah. Click on news and you'll see my past updates for my recent carers online news information. I'll put them here, and I'll see you for the next